How's it going, guys? Vaibhav here and welcome back to another video. So today we're talking about the Meizu 17, but just before we get into that, I want to address yesterday's video which talked about the Nubia Play. Now I thought people would have expected me to have the phone and people were disappointed not to see the phone, and that's why the dislikes on the video. But I'm just gonna put this straight out there. I don't get many review units to use on this channel, so I'm not gonna be showcasing you many phones. What I am gonna do is reacting to the specifications and sort of giving you my thoughts based on what we see on paper, videos, announcement, and that kind of stuff. If you like it, make sure you subscribe, and if you don't like it, just move on to the next tech YouTuber because I'm sure they have the phone. But that's about it for that. Let's go ahead and look at the Meizu 17 leaks and teasers so far. So the announcement was supposed to happen today, but they've pushed that to May the 8th according to the screen, and they've announced basically what looks to be the Meizu 17's box, you could say. Now there have been other leaks in the past, so if you go ahead and actually look at one of the leaks from the 21st of April, they actually outline how the design of the phone is going to be. So according to what the design looks like, it's going to have a hole punch on the right side, and it's going to be pretty much a 6 to a 6.5 inch AMOLED panel. So rumors are pointing to a 90 Hz refresh rate display, which makes sense because this is aiming towards that gaming space. But not only that, it's going to be a flat display, so I think that goes in line with the Nubia Play's sort of concept of a flat display. And I think more and more smartphone manufacturers are now understanding that curved displays may not be the right choice, especially for gamers. Now, if you look at the actual bezel of the display, it looks to be white, and this is a poor translation of what is in Chinese, but it does say that it will be a very white panel. So there you go, it's a white panel 5G flagship, the only white panel 5G flagship out there. So I guess this is somehow being marketed as a unique thing for the phone, and this was supposedly the lead up to the launch, which was supposed to happen today, but obviously it didn't, and that's why I'm making this video. Now they do mention 5G, which is great, because if we move into this tweet or sort of message on Weibo, this was way back in the day, but it says running 5G together, the Meizu 17 will be equipped with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 for the first time in spring 2020. So I think this goes again with the fact that this is going to be the flagship smartphone from Meizu this year, and it's going to have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 on board. Now, if you go ahead and look at this leak, it also shows us that it's going to have 30-watt wired charging. So that's something that we should keep in mind, as well as the 5G connectivity that I've already outlined before. So there are going to be two handsets, I think, the Meizu 17 and the Meizu 17 Pro. The Pro obviously will have the better specifications. There might be a change in the processing power, so the Meizu 17 might get the 765G, which also has 5G, whereas the flagship phone might get the 865 octa-core processor. Now, according to what we've seen so far in terms of leaks, we've had this leak. I don't think this looks very real because it looks kind of made up. No one goes for that kind of camera design. We're expecting more or less a 48 megapixel camera. I don't know if it's going to be a Sony IMX582 or 586 sensor. I'm hoping it's going to be the 586 sensor because those sensors are pretty good. The ones found on the Realme X2 Pro, which I did a review on GN Tech. So if you want to check that out, a card will be on screen. But I don't think this is pretty real, but this one is real. So you can't load these images, but you do see this image where you have evidence of 5G and you have evidence of that hole punch style design. So the hole punch has this green ring around it, which supposedly means the battery percentage, which is pretty cool. But I don't know if that just highlights the fact that this phone has a hole punch, which people want to ignore in the first place. Anyway, there's another picture of the phone. It looks to be flat screens overall, and that's basically Meizu's OS. We're pretty sure this will be running Meizu's skin on top of Android 10. And yeah, I think that about sums up all the leaks. This is the back panel of the phone, so pretty standard from the back, nothing too flashy, and maybe that's why this phone is going to stay relatively cheap, compete with the likes of the Nubia Play, and still have the best processing power and arguably the best display. Now, one last thing I want to mention is that it's a gaming phone, so it's probably going to have some sort of cooling system in there, so that's going to be something that we'll find out on May the 8th. And yeah, this looks to be the camera setup, and this goes hand in hand with the fact that this matches the teaser from today. So this black sort of indent or whatever you can call it looks pretty similar to this camera design, so we might expect a phone similar to this in the near future. But I think that sort of wraps up what we've heard of the Meizu 17, a 90Hz AMOLED panel, flagship level processing, maybe up to 8 to 12 gigabytes of RAM, some sort of gaming enhancements, thermal cooling, and pretty much a budget price tag. If I was gonna guess, this phone will retail in China only for maybe around $400. That's my estimate or guess. $350 to $400 is what you should expect for this phone. I don't know if there's going to be international availability for this phone, but if there is, it's going to give the likes of other flagships a good competition, but we'll have to wait and see to find out. But I think the gaming space in China is definitely one to watch out for, because it's sort of become the next OnePlus. So when OnePlus came out, it was the best spec phone at very, very cheap, and now it's gone completely off track to something that it wanted to be maybe at the start, where it's competing with the flagship smartphones. But I think the gaming space, where you get the best processing power and sort of good camera hardware, good design, etc., is the thing to look out for maybe in 2020, and this is one of the phones to look out for. So yeah, I think we'll have to wait until May the 8th to find out more. Let me know what you guys think about the phone down in the comments from whatever has leaked. Are you excited for it? Are you gonna buy the Nubia Play 5G, which sort of has downtoned specifications and arguably a better design, or are you waiting for the iQOO 3 5G Neo, which also supposedly comes out the day after tomorrow, or the 23rd of April. So yeah, there's a lot of Chinese manufacturers trying to get into this gaming space, and it's going to be interesting which one gets the most market share. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. This was Vaibhav, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.